Let me start by asking you a very simple question that I think you already know the answer to. Do you wish that your city had more money to use to help its inhabitants? The answer is simple. Of course you would. Who wouldn't? What I'm about to say might sound absurd, but I'm more than certain that legalizing prostitution here in Rhode Island is just a gold mine waiting to be discovered. In Nevada, the only state where prostitution is legal, brings in about $50 million a year. That sound nice? Well, guess what? In Germany, where prostitution is also legal, the industry is worth an estimated $16.3 billion, according to Germany's Federal Statistics Office. That catch your eye by any chance? Many owners of brothels, such as Dennis Hoff and Sasha Urban, use these brothels to make millions of dollars, and they aren't the only ones benefiting from this. The countries that allow these brothels to exist, such as Germany and in the Netherlands, and many others, are treating it like any other regulated industry, taxes and all. So should we let something like stigma prevent us from starting new businesses? Once again, the answer is simple. We shouldn't. For as far back as I myself can remember, granted that isn't all too long in the grand scheme of things considering I'm only 19 years of age, but even so, I know that Rhode Island has had a poor economy for some time now. Throughout all our history, Rhode Island has been an industry based economy. We simply don't have the room for agriculture. We're in one of the least business friendly states in the nation. Businesses are leaving, and they've been leaving. We need to think of ideas to help our economy. Our gross domestic product per capita is quite average, ranking 27th in 2018 in the entire nation. While this by itself doesn't sound too bad, it's quite worse than what it sounds like. Rhode Island is part of what's called the Northeast Corridor, a part of the country in which nearly 20% of the population lives on less than 2% of its land. Other states in this region, such as New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, are all ranked in the top 10 based on GDP per capita. We Rhode Islanders are in such a favorable spot, sandwiched right between New York City and Boston. The reality is that we should be doing much better than we currently are. A lot of people wouldn't like the idea of legalizing prostitution. People would say that it's unethical and that it's objectifying women. The reality, however, is that we wouldn't be forcing anyone into doing anything. We're just opening up a possible job and business opportunity, something that we really need to start doing more of. As I mentioned earlier, it's a $16.3 billion industry in Germany, and in the Netherlands, it's an $800 million industry. Germany has a corporation tax of 15%, while in the Netherlands, depending on your income of your business, below $236,000 gets taxed at 19%, and anything above gets taxed at 25%. It's easy to see how many millions or even billions of dollars are getting pulled in each year. Obviously, the population of Rhode Island is nowhere near Germany's or the Netherlands. But like I said before, we are in a very favorable position as part of the Northeast Corridor. If Rhode Island was the only state in the region that legalized prostitution, we'd have a monopoly of sorts. If people desired it, anywhere from between New York City and southern New Hampshire would have to come to Rhode Island for legal prostitution. Prostitution was actually illegal in Rhode Island from 1980 to 2009. Mistakenly, when Rhode Island amended a law in 1980, they accidentally made paid indoor prostitution legal. This was only discovered in 2003 when police took in a bunch of massage parlor workers to court and lost. From 2003 to 2009, when people knew that indoor prostitution was legal, rape and STD transmission rates were significantly lower during those years. While I firmly believe that prostitution should be legal, I 100% believe that it needs to be regulated. People who want to work in this industry, male or females, have to have some sort of license as well as frequent health tests. The idea is that it would be viewed as some sort of service, similar to that of going out to a restaurant or a massage parlor, or even to get your nails done. To own any such establishment, you need to have a license. You have to report your income to the government and pay your taxes. Prostitution, would be no exception to this. We shall not be so primitive to let any person going around doing whatever they would like. The only thing preventing this from happening is the lack of laws for this, or more like laws preventing this. And I'm only one person. If we want to change that, it's going to take a group effort to make things actually happen. Let people know what you think, even if they don't like it. That's no reason to prevent you from speaking your mind. And I know that almost everyone has a social media nowadays. It's a great way to spread your ideas and get your message out there, whether that's anything in mind or, in this case, again, legalizing prostitution. Looking back on things, we know that Rhode Island has had a very poor economy for some time now. And I've shown you how profitable prostitution has been in other countries, and even in Nevada. Strictly from a monetary standpoint, there's virtually no reason why we shouldn't be going for this. From a health and human rights standpoint, there doesn't seem to be much preventing it either. Rape and STD transmission rates were lower in the years that prostitution was legal, and I don't think that's a coincidence. We should do this simply because it's a beneficial decision, and that's how I see it. And I hope all of you see it that way as well.